Hey everybody, not PIGPUNCHER here, and I'm here with a new video, and kind of a weird one, I know, kind of out of nowhere, just in the middle of the morning, and if you've noticed the channel name and the art and everything like that, you probably know that I have rebranded. I now have a new name. Yes, Xanderhall. That is my new name. I've teased a rebrand, a name change over the last week or so. I've actually had this in mind for months at the very least, but I didn't really start kicking that plan into gear until a month or so ago. And I finally gone through with it. I contacted somebody on Fiverr and had them I paid them to make some new art for the stream and for the channel. With my own kind of customized feel and style to it. I had to make me a logo and everything like that, and just overall sort of make me a recognizable brand that I can adhere to, along with my new name, Xanderhall. So as I'm as I'm recording this, it's been about 3 hours since I changed all my social media accounts names and all that and stuff, and it seems like most people in my community are torn on whether or not this was a good idea. Some are kind of shocked because they aren't used to me not going by PIGPUNCHER. The new name is kind of jarring. Others were really confused and thought maybe I got hacked or something. I assure you I didn't. And others were pretty supportive and thought it was a good idea. And I'm one of those people. I think that it was a good idea, and I really like this new name and this sort of new aesthetic I'm going to be going for on my streams. Now, I would like to interject and say nothing major is going to change. I'm still a leftist. I'm still me. It's just a new name, new brand. And a lot of you are probably wondering why. Why change your name? You've built up 20,000 subscribers worth of name recognizability and search SEO and whatnot. Is it really a good idea to do this now? And I thought the same thing. I thought, why should I change my name now when PIGPUNCHER is so well known in leftist spheres, and around online? I've built a pretty big community off of this name, and I basically came to the conclusion that if I don't do it now, then I can never do it. If I hit, let's say, 100,000 subscribers and I get that silver play button that says PIGPUNCHER on it, and then I change my name to Xanderhall, that's going to bother me, That's going to weigh on me forever. And I honestly think that 20,000 subs is a good time to do it, because I have enough of a fan base and of a following that me changing my name won't disenfranchise too many of them or confuse too many of them, and I can still have a fairly successful YouTube stream / career. I'll admit I am a little scared that the fact that PIGPUNCHER will no longer be in the titles or underneath the title of each of my videos will cause problems, limiting my viewership and whatnot. And I do this for a job. I do it for a living. This is how I make my money to pay the bills and everything. So if changing my name results in me suffering from that, it could be pretty bad, but I don't think it's going to. I think it should be okay. On top of that, I know a lot of you probably have questions as to why would I want to change my name. The number one answer I would give is that I think PIGPUNCHER was a cringy name. My original name online I came up with when I was about 10 years old, and it was PIGPUNCHER368. It was all lowercase, no spaces, and then 368 at the end. And I came up with that name because I had played the free version of Minecraft when I first discovered it. There was a website you could pirate it from, and I wanted to play it for free before I actually asked my parents to buy it for me. And so I played the free version, and the first thing I did was punch a pig to death and get some pork from it. And when it came to the time for me to make a Minecraft.net account and then get the game, my stepdad, who was making the account for me at the time, I was 10 years old, asked me, what do you want your name to be? And I basically settled on PIGPUNCHER, but at the time PIGPUNCHER was taken. So he asked me, you need numbers at the end of your name or something. And I said, you know what? The first three numbers that came to mind were 368, because those were the middle three digits of my grandma's phone number. And my grandma was my best friend. She's passed away now, but when she was alive, she was my best friend. And I would literally have like the muscle memory to call her on my thumb, like on the phone, memorized. And so, 368, right in the middle of that phone number, just first number that came to mind. And so I was PIGPUNCHER 368 for a good 8-9 years, really. I didn't change my name to just PIGPUNCHER in all caps until I think it was the beginning of 2019. As my channel started to get a bit bigger and I was doing the politics stuff, I figured that a name like that wasn't going to get me very far. PIGPUNCHER 368, fucking numbers in the name. So I decided to just go with PIGPUNCHER, and when I saw it written out all in lowercase, it just didn't look right. I tried capitalizing it, it didn't look right. But when I made it all caps, it stopped reading like a word and looked more like a logo made of text. That's how I always looked at it, and I felt that was the most palatable way to market the name PIGPUNCHER, as ridiculous as it is. And it went well for a while, I think I've done fairly well for myself, but I do think there's a few issues with a name like PIGPUNCHER that I definitely thought were possibly detrimental to my YouTube career. A big one is probably the implication in leftist circles. Obviously, a lot of you probably thought PIGPUNCHER meant punching cops when it came to when you first discovered me, if you didn't immediately assume it was Minecraft related. And while, ACAB is praxis and everything, it's probably a pretty dangerous idea to try and portray in your name. Particularly because of what I do, I have a lot of people on the internet that really hate me, whether it be Nazis or woke scolds or just trolls in general. They really want to find out my identity, my location, and, swat me and whatnot. Swatting is generally their go-to meme, right? And so it used to be, if you were a streamer or a YouTuber and you got swatted, tough luck, The cops are kicking down your door, they're putting a gun to your head. You get on the floor, you put your hands behind your back, and you let them drive their knee into your shoulder blades. But nowadays, after the concept of swatting has blown up quite a bit, there are ways to avoid the whole incident, basically. And the number one way is to call your local police department, talk to them, tell them who you are, and explain the situation, and they'll put you on a list of people to, be very cautious if the SWAT team is called to that house. They'll oftentimes even call you before they show up, and so that's something that I've had to do. And one of the first things that made me realize I need to change this name was when I moved into this apartment with my roommate. I got into the phone with the local sheriff, and I'm talking to him, and he asks me, just to be sure, what is your online persona name? Well, it wasn't the sheriff. There was a special part of the police department, but and I'm talking to him and I'm like, is that important? And he's like, yeah, it is. We need to know. And I'm like, PIGPUNCHER. It's a Minecraft reference. I made the name when I was 10 years old. Having to overcompensate and explain what the name is from, but I don't know. It was very awkward. And I do think a lot of normies might assume that's what the name is about as well, punching cops. And while cops probably aren't the most loved by most people, I think the idea of perpetuating violence against them, even that being in your name, could be a big turnoff to a lot of people. And so I feel in order to appeal more to a general audience and sort of influence them with my political views, I need to have a less volatile or presumptuous. Is that the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry, it's so early, and I'm pretty sure I've got a cold coming on. A presumptuous name. Another big one was the implication of violence being in the name. Having punch or puncher in the name is not good for a few reasons. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, basically any social media site, they crack down pretty heavily on anything that has violence mentioned in it, and having it in my name is probably not great for me. If I could show you, I'd show my video list and how many yellow dollar signs I get. I'm pretty sure most of them come from the fact that my name has a violent action in it. You know, and that's definitely not the only reason why I want to change it, you know. The name doesn't even come off as a name, right? Like, it rolls off the tongue fairly well, Pig Puncher, but at the end of the day, it's not a name, and it's not a word either. I basically took a noun and an adjective and just sort of, like, put them together. There's a fucking bunny running around outside, Jesus. I heard it. But yeah. So, not the greatest name, in my opinion, to sort of try to grow a brand on. And while it worked for now, I definitely want to get a new one. So you're probably wondering, where does Xander Hall come from? What is this name? So the name Xander Hall originates mostly from my own actual name. My real name, as many of you might already know, is Alexander Haley. And when I was originally being named by my mom, you know, when I was born, she intended for me to go by Xander. But that never really catched on for some reason. For some reason, Alex was the name that stuck. I never really went by Xander, but I always thought Xander was a pretty cool name, maybe for online. But I never really, you know, committed to it because I was so married to the name PIGPUNCHER. And when I was like a 12-year-old dreaming about becoming a YouTuber one day and my name being PIGPUNCHER368, I thought that was like a reasonable name to go by, right? I never assumed maybe I should start getting used to calling myself something else or considering a new name. But a few months ago, when Classic WoW came out, I needed a name for my character, and PIGPUNCHER was taken. So I decided the name I would go with would be Xander Hall. Hall being the first three letters, you know, Haley, the first three letters of my last name. Just kind of put them together, and it came off as sort of like a, you know, it sounded like a character that could be in WoW, you know, Xander Hall. It sounds kind of medieval, I guess is the word, or fantasy-like. And so that's why I originally just kind of discovered this name, or made this name. And I then took that to me and Vosh's D&D campaign. I ended up naming my character Xander Hall. And once I started to get used to being called Xander Hall, I decided, you know what? That's the name I want to go by. And that's basically when I decided. And it's not just that, too. There's a few other things. I think the name PIGPUNCHER has a lot of baggage on it as well. For example, a big one is like how many times I've been banned from Twitter. Holy shit, this sheer amount of alt accounts I've had to make is insane. I think the name PIGPUNCHER at this point is just blacklist. Anyone with the name PIGPUNCHER in their bio or in their name or something is probably going to get insta-banned at this point. Just with that much baggage on that name, I figured it would probably be best to change it, because I would like to have an active presence on Twitter. You know, you need it for networking, you need it for growth, it's important, and so I figured it might be a good idea to leave the name PIGPUNCHER far behind and move past it. So I imagine there's a few more questions you would probably want to ask of me, and if you have more, you can leave them in the comments down below, and I'll answer them. I would like to hear what you guys think of the new name, the new aesthetic for the stream, you know, my new logo. I think the logo looks good, and you know, the sort of black, white, and gray style that I'm going for my stream. I think a big question a lot of you will have is, am I, as a personality, going to change, and how am I going to react to people dead naming me? I'll start with the dead naming part first. I imagine there'll be some confusion for a while. A lot of people are going to be really used to calling me Pig or PIGPUNCHER, but I do want to leave that behind. So ideally, my community would sort of just wean off of that old name, that old identity, and kind of get out of it, right? You know, let's just sort of leave it behind. If you do it by accident, I understand. I almost feel like, I wonder if this is how, like, a lot of trans people who change their name feel, you know? I imagine it's not nearly on that level, but I wonder if that's sort of somewhat how they would talk about it. But yeah, I just sort of like to wean off of the name PIGPUNCHER, you know? Especially because, you know, I don't want to be associated with that name, particularly on Twitter. That's kind of bad. Definitely don't call me that on Twitter, ideally. And, yeah, I mean, I want to be known as Xander Hall, not Pig Puncher. Maybe like Xander Hall, formerly Pig Puncher, for a while, but eventually I want the name Xander Hall to basically die in the dust. Not because I think it's bad or anything, but because I think it's just not accurate to who my current online persona is, And I think the last question I want to respond to is this going to change me in any way? And really, no. My content's still going to be the same, if not better. I'll admit I've been feeling some bad burnout lately. Really, like I don't know if it's like depression or anything, because I've gone through depression, and it's definitely not in the level of like, because I was suicidal once. If you look close enough, you notice I got a pretty fucking big scar on my wrist here. I've done self-harm and shit, so I've been depressed before. But I'm definitely not on that level. But God, I felt pretty drained this last month or so. Kind of burned out and kind of like shit. Like there'll be days when I'll set a schedule to stream, and then when the time comes, I can't do it. I couldn't even bring myself to get out of bed or lean forward enough to start the stream, and I really felt like shit. But after getting this new desk and having this like big change of scenery, and then also having this new name and the new art for the stream and the new branding and everything, I feel really rejuvenated. I feel really good. Like I want to stream. I look forward to my next stream, and I'm excited to see where that goes for sure. 100%. Yeah, I think that's everything I want to talk about. For those that are wondering when my next stream will be, I'm planning on streaming tomorrow. And by tomorrow, I mean February 8th. It is the 7th right now. I plan to stream on the 8th. This video will go up today, and I want as many people as possible to see it. If you know anybody in the community who is a fan of me that is not aware of the name of the brand change, please let them know. I don't want my channel to fucking die because of this name change. I don't think it will, but I definitely don't want to risk it. So anyone who watches this and sort of helps spread the word that, hey, this is Pig, he goes by this name now, and he's not gone or anything. This isn't just some random YouTuber popping up in your recommended. It's PIGPUNCHER, And yeah, hopefully that'll be how it goes. Also, I have a request for you guys. I need a new intro. I feel like what's going on, everybody? It's PIGPUNCHER, or sorry, what's going on, everybody? It's Xander Hall. Kind of doesn't roll off the tongue as well as it did with PIGPUNCHER. So if anyone has like a new intro, I could do like, hey dudes, it's Xander Hall. I don't know. Like I'm brainstorming what like my new intro thing could be. So if you guys have any like ideas, please toss them my way. God, what else? What else do I want to cover? That should be it, actually. I'm not really going to edit this video. I'm just throwing it together before I go to bed. I'm a bit nocturnal, so as you can see, it's morning outside, and I'm about to go to sleep. But yeah, I think we've talked about everything I plan to talk about. So for those of you who are interested, all my social media goes by a new name now. So if you don't already follow them, please go in the description down below and follow them. We've got a fan Discord where all my fans and whatnot hang out. Sometimes I'll even hang out with my fans and talk to them and chat and hang out. It's a good time, I also have a new Twitter account, link in the description. Go check it out. Please follow me. We're trying to rebuild this Twitter account. I promise. I'm going to try my best not to get banned. I've already blocked basically everybody on Twitter who hates me. I spent like a month with this new Twitter account just searching up my name and insta-blocking anybody who's like talking negatively about me. As much as I hate doing that, I did it because I don't want them to be able to report me, because you can't report someone when they have you have them blocked. This is actually how Nick Fuentes doesn't get banned from Twitter, even though he's a Nazi. He just blocks anyone who disagrees with him, and no one can report him for his tweets. So I just go and I've blocked everybody. So hopefully I won't get reported. I'm sure a few might have slipped through the cracks, but we'll see. I don't know. Hopefully the fact I go by a new name now, if I do get reported, will mean I'll be like at the bottom of like the priority list, and they won't just see PIGPUNCHER and know for a fact it's my 57th old account. But yeah, do follow it. Do go follow it. I'm trying to rebuild my brand on there. I want to try to hit like 1,000 followers by the end of March. Like getting back up there. I would really love that. Instagram down there as well. I also have my Patreon. Any donations on Patreon are highly, highly appreciated. You know, that money goes into me being able to survive. You know, I'm actually getting sick right now, and so I might have to go to the doctor. I'm hoping I don't. Hopefully it's not like the fucking coronavirus or anything. If it is, then I'm in trouble because I cannot afford to go to the doctor. But if you want to donate on Patreon, it's very, very much appreciated. I also have a new link to Streamlabs now, so if you want to donate or sub through there, you can. And as of the time I'm making this video, my website isn't updated to the new branding yet. White Nervosa needs to get on that, but she's been very busy. The domain PIGPUNCHER.com is still going to be active for about 6 months, but it's going to redirect to the new site. Well, it's going to be the same site, but under xanderhall.com. But PIGPUNCHER.com will still be an active working URL for now, and it'll just redirect you to the same website. We're working on getting xanderhall.com to be the URL or for the website now. We're also going to be overhauling the website a little bit, you know, the new logo, the new aesthetic, blending in more with the site, you know. But that's the last thing we're doing. Other than that, all my other social media are caught up. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, donate to me on Patreon if you like. But don't do it if you don't have any money. Don't bankrupt yourself. And yeah, I think that's everything. With all that aside, what the fuck is that noise? I don't know. But with all that aside, thank you all so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You guys are all amazing, and I love you so much. Xander Hall, out? What's their new outro going to be? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching.